From Purple Fruit Studios
and Dodo Bros Entertainment
is a series about the less-seen mysteries of the world.
The weird and interesting. Here is Purple Skies with Drew Christopher.
It has been 40 years since the height of the Cold War, and yet the secrets still exist. There is a place in northern North Dakota that has baffled and amazed many with its interesting design, questionable history, and weird ownership. The Stanley R. Mickelson Safe Ground Complex in Nokema, North Dakota has been an oddity for many years. Construction started in 1970, just 2 hours outside of a Grand Forks military base, for a safe ground complex designed to detect and intercept Soviet nuclear missiles. Made up of a small military base, an underground power plant, and the main event, a PAR satellite pyramid. Construction ended in October of 1974, costing the military $6 billion. The complex contained 30 Spartan missiles and 16 Sprint missiles. At the time, Nokema, North Dakota was the most armored small town in America. On April 1st, 1975, Nokema became operational, and on October 1st, 1975, it was fully operational and fully armed. Just 24 hours after Stanley R. Mickelson was declared ready, it was shut down. Because of its secrecy, no one could really speak of the nuclear site. Slowly, the base was emptied until 1976, when the pyramid was welded shut and the officer quarters were abandoned. Little is known about what really happened on the base. The only information provided to the public is the nuclear power the complex contained. Virtually everything was either removed or destroyed inside the base. The only thing left were the actual buildings themselves. In the 80s, all underground entrances and tunnels were flooded. Official military reports say that the simple neglect left the tunnels flooded with underground water. But some locals say that the army strategically flooded the area to keep the public out of the abandoned base. In the 90s, USDA and US Air Force pumped out the tunnels due to lead and nuclear debris left from the missiles' containment, seeping into the ground surrounding the area. The area was kept highly secured by US Air Force 10 Space Warning Squadron until it was cleared out one last time of anything useful and auctioned off to a communal Christian Anabaptist society in December 2012. For years, the group had used the area to grow crops and used the pyramid as a worship shrine. In 2015, the military base part of the property was sold off to two men, Melbourne Son and Jim Cleveland. Each person took a section of the military base and converted it into different things. Jim turned the power plant into his family home, while Mel made a museum out of his section. In June of 2019, the County Development Authority bought the full tactical area with plans to renovate it and restore its properties, including radar capabilities and living quarters. Now, after hearing that, it doesn't seem so odd or conspiracy-worthy, but there are more behind the scenes. Though the exterior of the military site has been open for tourism since 2004, very few people have been inside the complex itself. Officials say it's because of safety concerns, but many speculate that for a long time the military used the complex as a storage site for weapons and nuclear war plans. Though technically abandoned, the missile field was still usable in the early 2000s, despite being emptied. Many people think that the US government had been keeping the Stanley R. Mickelson Safe Ground Complex on the back burner and only sold it when it became 100% useless. The complex is now back in the hands of the government, though only locally. I personally believe that despite the congressional vote to decommission it, the military wanted to keep it available in an apocalypse situation. I don't really believe in many conspiracies, but recent releases of information to the public have shown light on the government's past hidings of special facilities, programs, and phenomena. Only a year before it was sold off, it was released that one of the satellites was still in use after the site shut down. Not for military purposes though, but for tracking objects in space. That too was shut down before the sale. What were they doing? What did they need to track objects in space from a small town in North Dakota? Many speculate that the site was originally designed for missile defense, but was converted to alien protection after 1975. Even the previous religious group had said the site is tied to godly activity, which can be translated as religious speak for aliens. No matter what is going on, it is clear that no one is telling the truth. Or at least someone is, and no one's listening. It has been proven that the site has been picked at a weird geographical location, such as lining up with flight paths to Russia and signal strengths from satellite imagery devices. Locals from Nokema have reported seeing weird things in the sky in the area way before the construction of the complex. Are these real? Is there sky activity? Or is it just crazy farmers? We may never know the answer. But one day, we might find more conspiracies. Support for this week's episode comes from Grand Forks Public Schools for letting us use the School Mentor Center to record, and R&K Farms. Music was composed by Josh Pan and Bobby Richards.